Hey everyone, so are the cameras on the iPhone 17 really that much better than the cameras on the iPhone 16? Well, aside from the cameras, first off, I wouldn't ever recommend upgrading year to year on phones. But this year, if you have seen the 120 hertz ProMotion display on other Pro model iPhones, then that might be worth a reason to upgrade to the iPhone 17 this year, which also has the 120 hertz ProMotion display. But if you've never seen one of those displays on an iPhone and your standard iPhone display looks fine to you, you're not having any problems with it, then that might not be an argument or a reason at all. Now, as far as the cameras, the iPhone 17 has the same 48 megapixel main camera as the iPhone 16. It is a different, slightly smaller sensor than the 48 megapixel Fusion main camera on the Pro models, but they are very good cameras. And the iPhone 17 does have the upgraded ultra wide angle and selfie cameras. So for the ultra wide angle on the 17, you are going to a 48 megapixel ultra wide angle camera versus the 12 megapixel ultra wide angle camera on the 16. But it is the same focal length, it's the same field of view at 13 millimeters. The selfie camera on the iPhone 17 has a new 18 megapixel camera that can auto adjust between portrait and landscape without rotating the phone. And so if that's something that you're interested in, that is an available option. But is the quality really that much better on the selfie camera? That's why we do the comparison. And that's why, like I always do, I'm going to show you a bunch of photos and videos in both good and low light conditions to help you decide which of these two camera systems are going to be best for your smartphone camera needs, and if you should be spending your hard-earned extra cash on the iPhone 17 or not. So go ahead and take a look at all the photos and videos and let me know what you think. Alright, so here's a test of the video of the rear cameras of the iPhone 16 and the iPhone 17. This is being recorded from the rear facing cameras at 4K 60 frames per second, as you can see. And this is the ultra wide angle camera started out on each at 4K 60 frames per second. And so I'm just gonna pan around here to give you a side-by-side view of how these ultra wide angle cameras compare right now. And so that is the upgraded part. You're going from 12 megapixel ultra wide on the 16 to a 48 megapixel ultra wide on the 17, but both are the same focal length, as you can see here. So we've got kind of not cloudy, but a bit overcast, ever so slightly, but there are some blue skies. You can see the red shed there, as well as a lot of greenery. So lots of colors to test. And so let's go ahead and move into the main camera now on the iPhone 16 and now on the 17. So here are the main cameras. These are the same 48 megapixel main fusion cameras. So I'll do the same thing, just pan around to give a side-by-side view of the main camera, how it handles the shadows in trees, and as I come down here, and how the exposure may adjust as we come up for the light and the sky. But we'll pan over to the right and we'll test the zoom out on these phones here. So no telephoto cameras, but we can pop into a 2x crop on the main lens there. So that's 2x zoom digital. And this can go all the way up to 6x. And the same thing with the iPhone 17 here. Also 6x digital zoom. Both looking pretty steady, pretty clear, but you're not gonna get a lot of reach, not a lot of focal length here on photos and videos on either of these phones, but we'll move out on the 17 to 1x and on the 16, and we'll test autofocus on the post here on the 16 first. So focus away. So as you would expect, fast autofocus here. Nice natural bulk here, background blur there. And on the 17, focus up really snappy as well. One more time, away, and nice focus. All right, and so let's go ahead and just walk down the stairs so I can show you the stabilization and what that looks like here side by side as you walk to the pathway. And then I'll just go ahead and try to jog to stress out that stabilization here. So there you go, quick 4K 60 frames per second outdoor test of the iPhone 16 and the new iPhone 17. Alright, so we're back with the rear cameras. This time it's cinematic mode turned on, and so you should be seeing this artificial background blur right now. And this is set to an aperture of f/4.0, so you can make this as much or less blurry as you want. And I'm standing outdoors obviously, and the sun is shining directly on me, so this is the best possible picture quality because it's even exposure for the lighting, as well as this effect does require a good amount of light here. But as I pan around, you can see what this looks like here as the lighting conditions change, as more off to my left, and now with the sun more directly behind me and shining directly into the cameras, how the picture quality looks and how this background effect holds up. And I'll just keep panning all the way around so you can see what this looks like here as the lighting continues to change. But as we come back to where we were, I'll just start walking so you can see how cinematic mode holds up and this background effect looks with some movement. So let me know what you think about cinematic mode from the rear cameras of the iPhone 16 and the iPhone 17.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Alright, so here's a test of the front-facing cameras of the iPhone 16 and iPhone 17. So this is where you're getting the upgrade on the iPhone 17, the new 18 megapixel selfie camera that can do the open gate style kind of camera where it can auto switch between portrait and landscape by itself. And it's also got a bit of a wider field of view at 20 millimeters versus the 23 millimeters on the iPhone 16. So you fit more in the frame, but not by a ton on the iPhone 17, but that feature is there. And so right now I'm outdoors obviously, but the sun is shining directly on me. So this is probably the best picture quality that you're gonna see here, with everything looking pretty even with exposure and such. But I'll just go ahead and pan around so you can see what it looks like here as the lighting changes. So as it comes more off my left right now, and then now directly behind me and more into the cameras. You see how it adjusts for the lighting in the sky there, and what it looks like here with more direct sunlight, but it's a bit overcast, so not a ton of sun, but you can see it right there. And I'll keep panning around so you can see what this looks like as we move all the way back around. And then I'll just start walking so I can test the stabilization and show you what that looks like here side by side. So let me know what you think about the footage from these front-facing cameras on the iPhone 16 and the iPhone 17. Alright, so we're back with the front-facing cameras. This time it's cinematic mode on both phones, so you should be seeing this artificial background blur right now. And they're both set to an aperture of f/4.0, so you can adjust that to be as much or less blurry as you want. And again, the slightly wider field of view on the iPhone 17 versus the 16, but again, not by a ton. And so again, I'm in the same position with the sun shining more directly on me. So this is also how the best picture quality is going to happen, because the sun is shining and exposing directly for me, and this background effect generally requires a lot of light. But as I pan around, you can see what it looks like here as the lighting conditions slightly change. Again, overcast, so not a ton of sun, but there is enough to throw off the exposure and everything else. And as we point the sun more directly into the cameras, you can see what it looks like here and how the effect holds up. And I'll keep panning all the way around just so you can see the lighting 360. And I'll just walk so I can show you some movement and how this effect holds up. So let me know what you think about cinematic mode here on the front-facing cameras of the iPhone 16 and iPhone 17. Everyone, so this is a low light video test of the rear cameras of the iPhone 17 and the iPhone 16. This is being shot in 4K 60 frames per second, and this is the ultra wide angle cameras to start out on each. So I'm just going to pan around so you get a side-by-side view of these ultra wide angle cameras in this particular setting here at night. And we can go ahead and move into the main cameras on the iPhone 16 and on the iPhone 17. So now we're on the main camera on each. And I'm going to do the same thing, just pan around so you get a side-by-side view here of each of the main cameras. And we can go ahead and test the zoom range on both right now. So we got a 2x digital crop on the 16 and on the 17. And we can go all the way up to 6x zoom on the 16 and same thing here on the 17. So same zoom range and just about the same quality from what I can see from the viewfinder. We'll back it out on the 17 and on the 16, and we'll just pan around this way and we'll just walk so we can test the stabilization, as well as to show you how these cameras perform with less light. Obviously there's a decent amount of light back there, and right now where I'm walking there's a lot less light. There's some light coming off the building to my left, but as we get to this area here, it's gonna get really dark. There are no lights along this pathway that are on right now. So especially when you're around the corner, it is very dark, and these cameras are definitely brightening things up much brighter than they look to my eye right now. And we'll just pull up right here and we'll pan down this way. So there is some light coming off the building, so a bit of a mixed lighting situation. It's dark to my right, light off the building on the left. And we'll pan up this way into the building and into the night sky where there is light pollution. And because the cameras are trying to brighten things up, you're going to see a good amount of noise from the cameras right now. And we'll pan back this way. And so there you go. 4K 60 frames per second video test here at night. Let me know what you think about this quality here from the iPhone 16 and the iPhone 17. Alright, so here's a video test of the front-facing cameras of the iPhone 16 and the iPhone 17. This is being shot at 4K 60 frames per second, and the iPhone 17 has the upgraded ultra-wide-angle selfie camera that can shoot in both portrait and landscape without rotating the phone. And so as you can see from the footage here, from my eyes in the viewfinder, the quality is pretty similar, and the iPhone 17 maybe has a slightly wider field of view, but not by a ton, as you can see here. But I'll just go ahead and start walking so I can show you the stabilization here side by side, as well as move over to a bit of a darker area so you can see how these cameras perform in a little bit less light, especially around this area right here. A lot less light around me, looks a little bit darker obviously. And so I'll pull up here, but I'll pan all the way around just so you can see how these cameras perform with more of the really bright street lights behind me right now, and how that's looking, kind of shining more into the cameras. And of course, just in case you're out at night and you want to shoot front-facing video like this, this is maybe some of the quality you might expect, especially with some bright lights around. But I'll just come back here so you can see what this looks like side by side with a lot less light, as you can see right here. And so obviously there's a lot warmer light around me, so it's going to look a little bit dingy because of that. But at least to my eye in the viewfinder, the quality is looking pretty much about the same, at least from what I can see here. But let me know what you thought about the iPhone 16 and the iPhone 17 cameras here. And as far as my quick opinion here, I never encourage a one-year upgrade. And technically the iPhone 17 is better. It's got the new chipset in it. It's got the larger battery. It's got the brand new upgraded, brighter 120 Hertz ProMotion display. Of course, the ultra-wide-angle camera has been upgraded to 48 megapixels, and you've got the new front-facing selfie camera, open gate style, shoots again portrait and landscape without rotating the phone, and a slightly wider field of view here. But you know, if you had to just upgrade from the 16 to the 17, I would not encourage that really, unless you really wanted those features and maybe the pricing was negligible because you're getting a good deal. But if you're coming from an older iPhone and you had to choose between the 16 and 17, price being about the same because of maybe whatever deal you're getting, yes, the 17 is going to be the better phone. But it's all going to come down to the price and whatever kind of deal you're going to get between these two phones. And like I said, I wouldn't just upgrade and throw away some money to go from the 16 to the 17. So it's just going to come down to the deal and if you're going to want those features that I really mentioned. But do let me know what you thought about the overall camera quality here between the 16 and the 17. Have you upgraded to the iPhone 17 from the 16 or any other older generation iPhone? Let me know in the comment section. I'm always curious. And of course, if you have any other questions that I can help you answer here, leave them in the comments and I'll answer what I can. And as always, thanks for watching.